What's up, guys? Welcome back to Late Night Frauds. I'm Chris Brock, the co-leader, and this week we're doing horror battles. So if this week is a horror battle week, then last week we did a theme, and that theme was a sci-fi horror theme, which was a great week for us because we had tons of good films reviewed, great reviews by everybody, every member, every leader. We had Event Horizon, which I did, Independence Day, Alien, The Thing, Night of the Creeps. We had a lot of good films reviewed. So if you haven't checked out our videos from last week, go do so because, I thought we had a pretty solid week overall. And for this week, I'm going to be battling an original film versus a remake, which, it's one Carpenter flick I haven't checked out until, obviously the last couple of days to do this horror battle. And that is a film from the year 1980, and that is The Fog. And I'm going to be battling that with the 2005 remake. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with the original 1980 The Fog. So pretty much the plot of The Fog, as a Californian coastal town known as Antonio Bay is getting ready to celebrate its 100th birthday, a strange phenomena starts to happen. Objects start to move themselves, machines start to turn themselves on, and public payphones just start ringing out of nowhere. Just very weird and obscure stuff happens in the small town of Antonio Bay. And we cut to the priest, Father Malone, who is in his church, and pretty much a stone from the wall just falls out of nowhere and reveals a journal, which Father Malone goes to check out. And he reads it, and he discovers that it is his grandfather's journal. And it says in the year 1880, 6 of the founders of Antonio Bay, which includes Malone's grandfather, pretty much deliberately sunk a clipper ship known as the Elizabeth Dane, which was owned by a guy named Blake, who was a wealthy guy and wanted to pretty much establish a colony in Antonio Bay. So I know that was kind of gave away a little bit, but I want to kind of give you guys a little taste of what the film is about. But that's pretty much the basic plot of The Fog. Okay guys, so moving on to the 2005 remake of The Fog. So pretty much in the year 1871, a leaper known as William Blake is arranging to purchase half of Antonio Island, and that is off the coast of Oregon. And the reason he wants to purchase this is for his people. He's wanting to establish a colony there. But the island residents, known as Patrick Malone, Norman Castle, Richard Wayne, and David Williams double-crossed Blake and set his clipper ship known as the Elizabeth Dane on fire, killing everyone aboard. So that is pretty much the basic plot of the 2005 remake of The Fog. Okay guys, starting off this horror battle, round one. Which film had the better kills in my opinion? The 2005 Fog remake, it relied heavily on CGI, and I can relate it to a film that I recently watched, and that is The Boogeyman, or just plain Boogeyman. The CGI wasn't great in Boogeyman. I mean, the Fog remake has a lot better CGI, but still, that's not saying too much. I just don't like how they relied heavily on it. Like, nothing was really practical in the film. I just don't really like CGI kills. If you balance it out with practical effects and CGI, kind of leave the CGI to a minimum, I do appreciate that, but it was full-blown CGI. I got to go with the original kills. It was practical, it was from the 80s, it just felt more classier, and I just really enjoyed the kills in the original over the remake, so round one goes to the original. Okay guys, so moving on to round two. Which film had the better story in my opinion? Normally I would just go ahead and give this round a tie, but because it is the original and the remake, they do have similarities. They do have similar qualities to them, but they are different enough for me to judge them in this category because, the original is set in 1880 and the remake is set in 1871. I know that isn't a major difference, but, some of the backstory is changed with Blake and, where the location's set, so I can judge it in that aspect. In the original 1980 The Fog, we are treated to a campfire story of what happened in 1880 with Blake and the 6 founders of Antonio Bay, but in the remake we see that visually, right from the get-go. And I do kind of like seeing that, but then again, it is kind of cool to leave that a mystery, to, leave the backstory of Blake and, what happened to, Father Malone's grandfather. To leave that as a mystery, but overall how the story goes, how, just the story continues throughout the film, honestly I'd have to say the original, but the remake doesn't have a bad storyline, I just prefer the original. So round 2 goes to the original 1980 The Fog. Okay guys, moving on to round 3, which film had the better acting and directing? Wow, this is going to be a very, very, very easy round for me personally. Maybe not to some viewers out there, but okay, let's compare the 2 films in terms of acting and directing. Starting off with the original, you have Jamie Lee Curtis, Janet Leigh, Adrienne Barbeau, and Tom Atkins in the same film. That is an amazing cast. Janet Leigh from Psycho, Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween, Tom Atkins, he is the man, Adrienne Barbeau, that's a great cast in my opinion, and the director is none other than John Carpenter, who's done such great films as Halloween, The Thing, Escape from New York, Assault on Precinct 13, Prince of Darkness, Big Trouble in Little China. I could go on and on. And in terms of the Fog remake, you have the dude from Smallville. That's really the only person I know, so round 3 definitely goes to the original. Okay guys, now time for round 4. Normally I do, which film had the better killer, but I really don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen The Fog, either of them. Because it could be The Fog, it could be something else. I just really don't want to spoil that because that is something you really got to find out for yourself. But I'm going to change it to which film had the better special effects. So pretty much what we're doing is the practical effects from the original versus the CGI from the remake. Going to be a quick round. I was just more impressed with the practical effects in the original, and I prefer practical effects over CGI. Some CGI is okay if it's done well, but it kind of irritated me in the remake, so I have to give round 4 to the original. Okay guys, so if you've been keeping score, the original Fog has 4 points and the remake has 0, so most likely the original's going to win, but without further ado, round 5. Which film do I think is a better overall horror film? And without a doubt I have to go with John Carpenter's The Fog, the original. I just thought the acting was really good, had a very great cast. I mean, Tom Atkins, Janet Leigh, Jamie Lee Curtis, Adrienne Barbeau, just a great cast, very well directed, had a good atmosphere. I really liked the story, and yeah, just overall a great Carpenter flick, definitely my top 5. The remake to me just felt too polished up, too, I don't know, too Hollywood, and it felt too teenish. It just felt like an MTV version of the original. But it did have some fun elements to it, it had some fun moments, but there were some very, very stupid moments in it. But yeah, without a doubt, the original has won this horror battle. What do you guys think? Do you like the original or the remake better? Leave a comment down below. And yeah guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for a Little Rock Cuties video tomorrow. And I'm going to leave our Facebook link and our website link down in the description. If you guys could go check that out, that'd help us out a lot. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.